including our brother, smart apprentice, Kilmar Arbrega Garcia, who we demand to be returned to us and his family now. Bring him home. We need to make our voices heard. We're not red, we're not blue. We're the building trades, the backbone of America. We built a $5 billion, you want to build a $5 billion data center? Want more six-figure careers with healthcare retirement and no college debt? You don't call Elon Musk, you call us. North America's building trades unions. And yeah, that means all of us, including our brother, smart apprentice, Kilmar Arbrega Garcia, who we demand to be returned to us and his family now.
Yeah, so that's the union people talking. So yeah, like, so with Trump saying that he's, trying to bring manufacturing jobs back, he's trying to, look out for the working man in the United States. With the stuff that he's doing, it doesn't seem how like that's what he's trying to accomplish, because that's not what's happening. How are you going to say you're trying to help the working man, you're trying to create more jobs, and you're firing people left and right? You're not supporting, you're union busting. What made those manufacturing jobs so good for people was the unions, and was, that these corporations had to pay these people. I really don't see it as the stuff that he's doing is actually benefiting people. I don't know how you could say that and you're losing all these jobs. Like the middle class, government jobs is a tool for a lot of people to move into the middle class. Stable jobs, high-paying jobs. There's another part of this. Those government jobs, you have to have degrees to get those jobs, right? And those manufacturing jobs, you don't necessarily have to have degrees to get those jobs. So there's also like an attack on certain groups. If I'm not articulating this correctly, but it's like, and it's a lot of black and brown people who work in the government too. You have to have those credentials to get those jobs. So I guess that goes to the part where they're talking about the degrees don't mean nothing, right? That they're not going to impact your life. Like, don't get a degree, just go work in a factory or whatever. But those jobs are gone. The factory jobs are gone. The corporations have moved them overseas. And I get what Trump is trying to do as far as theoretically. I think that he's right and wrong at the same time. I think he's right about, making the tariffs to try to get more manufacturing here in the United States. I think he's wrong in the way that he's doing it. And he's also wrong in the timing, because we got AI, we got these robots. If they did bring the manufacturing back to the United States, then it wouldn't bring in a lot of jobs, because it's gonna be machines that's gonna be doing the work. And I think that people forget that a lot of these manufacturing jobs weren't all good. A lot of them sucked really bad. People got hurt. People worked in really bad conditions. People had short lifespans. They hired children. So it's like, okay, you could have made it into the middle class without having a degree by going, by getting a job in manufacturing and just kind of developing a skill, like being taught a specific skill that can be used in this factory. But how translatable were those skills into other industries? versus getting those degrees, versus having those credentials that got you those government jobs. And back when they had the recession, and who was it? Franklin Delano Roosevelt, was it him? And he created all of these government jobs, and it helped bring all these people out of poverty. What other position should the government take other than, providing jobs for the people, helping the people? If the private sector doesn't work. So then they're pushing all of these people out of the government sector into the private sector and putting more pressure on, on the job market to provide for people, which is overall going to have a downward pressure on wages because there's so much competition. There's going to be somebody that's going to be willing to do that job for less because they're more desperate. So the corporations win out of this, not the